It doesn't matter what year you are. I'm head of the associates. If I give you an assignment, you do it.
Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous good-looking friends. Today, I just have a quick video to show you something that I saw that recently popped up. So the Archewell public charity that receives funding from the public, in which Archewell charity is supposed to be transparent with the public on what they spend, is continuing to pretend that they are a private foundation and not disclosing anything to anyone, all the while receiving those deep tax benefits. Anyhow, anytime I talk about Archewell, I'm going to keep emphasizing and restating the fact that they are a public charity. So the prince and his dumb wife are continuing on their mission to control freedom of speech and control the minds of others, specifically infecting the impressionable youth with their garbage, has decided now with their Archewell public charity to help launch a fund called the Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund. Man, that sure sounds like Nazi Fourth Industrial Revolution shit. So according to the Archewell Public Charity website, it says the Archewell Foundation's participation in the newly founded Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund was announced this week as part of the foundation's ongoing commitment to the future of technology and its impact on society. The RT Youth Power Fund is the first of its kind to invite youth and intergenerationally led organizations to shape the future of technology movement. The Archewell Foundation is a proud founding member of the fund, alongside a diverse group of funders, including Omidyar Network, Susan Crown Exchange, Hope Lab, and many more. So let's take a look at this Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund Fourth Reich movement. We all know that the prince and the dumb wife don't do anything unless it benefits them, while taking other people's money from the public and investing it into causes that fuel their selfish ambition. So this is what this Youth Power Fund is all about. So it says on their website that there's 11 organizations that are partnering to launch a new Responsible Technology Power Fund. So assuming that this website is brand new, it says, our focus, we believe that young people can be a powerful force in the fight for a more inclusive and equitable technology ecosystem. However, cultural, social, and infrastructural barriers often prevent youth-led organizations and intergenerational partnerships from accessing funding and realizing their full power and potential in shaping responsible technology. That begins to change today. The Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund is a first-of-its-kind philanthropic initiative aimed at supporting youth and intergenerationally led organizations shaping the responsible technology movement. The fund, which has raised $1.5 million from 11 funders, is now accepting applications from 501(c)(3) eligible public charities with award amounts ranging from $25,000 to $200,000 based on the stage of the organization funding needs. The responsible technology movement is about building, shaping, and stewarding our tech ecosystem to safeguard human rights, leveraging technology platforms to address social, cultural, political, or environmental problems, ensuring equitable access to the benefits of technology, and mitigating the harmful impacts of technology in communities. So already they have 11 funders that are part of this fund, which includes the Archewell Public Charity, and they've only raised $1.5 million. If you divide that by 11 people, that's about $136,000 per organization. I would think that some of the bigger organizations, the more established organizations, donated more than $136,000. And I almost wonder, what did Archewell Public Charity give? $10? And if you've been a part of this channel and have watched some of my videos around Archewell Public Charity, then you would know and see that this Philanthropy 2.0 is not really philanthropy. There's always something coming back to these wealthy elites in the form of some type of profit, in the form of some type of political power, or in the form of just not paying taxes altogether. I did a video a few weeks ago talking about this Philanthropy 2.0. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it because I do go into depth as to how all these people are connected to one another, manipulating people like you and I in order to get richer. There is a very dangerous abuse of power when you have folks who don't think that rules apply to them because of the status that they hold or the amount of money that they have. The prince and his dumb wife have been exposed so much that we know that anything that they attach their name to or contribute towards has something with a selfish agenda behind it. So let's take a closer look at Archewell Public Charity's close circle of friends in this initiative. Right off the bat, they're all part of WEF and partaking in the Fourth Reich. I meant Fourth Industrial Revolution with Klaus. You have venture capitalist firms who are pushing this narrative of being philanthropic while really they are taking advantage of impact investments. It's one big circle jerk with these folks. As you can see, back in 2020, Pivotal Ventures committed $1 billion to accelerate gender equality in the US over the next decade. Whatever that means. Actually, we do know what that means. And it's not just about the tax breaks. That money then gets written into political power. And I'll show you what I mean about that. The biggest name on here that I find is interesting for the prince and more so his dumb wife is the Omidyar network. So according to this website, the Omidyar network is a social change venture that reimagines critical systems and the ideas that govern them to build more inclusive and equitable societies for the benefit of the many, not just the few across the globe. This company is based out of California, and I can smell the hypocrisy all the way here in New York. Do you really think they care about us becoming equal to them? No. This is a venture capitalist setup. This is not misinformation. They say it on their website. As you can see, they invest. They come from a business background and also in technology. Wait till I get to that. And they're saying that they're doing this for social change. No, this is the hottest new thing to make money and grease the hand of government, or let's say partner with government, according to Klaus. Remember, the WEF is pushing for a fascist regime, but marking it now or rebranding it as Democracy 2.0. If you're not convinced that there is an agenda legitimately going on here, then this should convince you to open your eyes because the Omidyar network is part of the WEF forum, actually actively involved in the WEF forum. And this article that they pushed out in 2021 is all for getting people consolidated with digital infrastructure and tagging them to be tracked. They think that central banking is a good idea. They think that, tracking for vaccines, all this, what China has been doing, is going to be good for the rest of us. Look, I'm not opposed to advancements with technology. The problem that I have here is the folks that are doing the innovation and creating these problems and fears for the rest of us are doing it out of the fact that they see dollar signs. They're not doing it because they genuinely want to help mankind evolve. Most certainly not for the prince and his dumb wife are doing this because they genuinely care. They're doing this because they are money and power hungry. That's really what it boils down to, and feeding their ego. Omidyar focuses in 3 areas: responsible technology, reimagining capitalism, and building cultures of belonging, whatever the fuck that means. What bothers me about this is that you can see the underpin of ideas that they're trying to propagate out to everyone. So responsible technology is really around censoring the internet. Reimagining capitalism is how can we control everybody's money? Building cultures of belonging? Well, we already seen what is going on within the schools around the trans movement and how confused these students are now growing up, not knowing one day if they are they or it or a unicorn or you don't even know, but no longer looking at facts and what truth and morale and ethics really stand for and going off of a person or individual's feelings. I'm sorry, but that's just eroding humanity and not evolving the human species. We're actually going backwards, in my opinion. And the target audience that all of these companies and people like the prince and his dumb wife keep trying to relate to are the youth that are under 25. That is their sweet spot. Generation Z is what these two idiots are going after in order to indoctrinate them into their mindset and ideology for control. It gets worse when you look at the partners who are giving money for grants and funds to this Omidyar network. You'll start to see a theme and understanding why the world is so messed up as it is now. Let's just look at the responsible technology partners and see the amount of money that they're giving to this network. We have universities, we have World Bank gave $2 million in 2019. You've got Tech Policy Press 2022 grant, the University of Texas giving $350,000, Trade Justice Education Fund for $230,000, Feminist Frequency 2022 grant $50,000. You've got Duke University giving $150,000, Data and Society Research Institute $250,000. Consumer Reports 2022 grant, $100,000. Oh, look what we have here. Aspen Institute 2022 NDP grant for $400,000 in 2022. And then there was another one from the Aspen Institute 2022 Aspen Digital grant for $100,000 last year. I can see why Archewell Public Charity weaseled their way into this network, but I think it goes a bit deeper than that. It's not just trying to censor and control the internet. For the dumb wife, yes, she definitely wants to be able to control the narrative and the internet, but this is also a strategic move, I believe, that is positioning Meghan down the political route. A majority of these grants, if not all, are connected to leftist liberal organizations. Now, why would that be? That's because Pierre Omidyar, the one who owns Omidyar Network, he also is chairman and founder of the Democracy Fund Voice, which is a left-leaning lobbying and electoral advocacy group within the Advocacy Philanthropy Network, which is this Omidyar network. Oh, and by the way, Pierre is the founder of eBay, whose net worth is $21.8 billion. Oh, yes, and he's married, but I'm sure she tried. So going back to this Democracy Fund Voice entity, the group advocates for a number of left-of-center policy issues, including Democratic Party advantaging election administration changes and funds ostensibly right-leaning organizations that support liberal and left-of-center policies on election administration, environmentalism, and opposition to the Republican Party, such as Stand Up Republic. Another interesting tidbit is that Omidyar and his wife are Democratic Party mega donors, having contributed to the presidential campaigns of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. They made further six-figure donations to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. Wow! Well, isn't that convenient for the dumb wife? Well, there are rumors running around now that she is still thinking about dipping her toe into that California seat should Dianne Feinstein decide to retire. And where is she going to get the funding? I wonder. Well, there's always the route of using the foundation to write grants that then can make the grant unrestricted, in which the funds at Omidyar Network can take and then write another grant over to Democracy Voice. I'm just thinking out loud. We know that many foundations operate with the guise of being so generous and philanthropic, when we then dig in further to find out that money doesn't even reach the people that it's supposed to be helping half the time, because these funds somehow magically disappear into operational expenses and blah, blah, blah. I mean, why else would the prince and his dumb wife have 11 shell corporations and the one public charity that they have, they're clouded in secrecy and not being transparent with the public? Could money be shifting around? I don't know. I think the IRS needs to be called. We have to keep a very close eye on Archewell Public Charity because, after all, it has been set up to mirror many of the foundations that we see today that had been set up in a similar model as the way that Sleazy set up the Gates Foundation as well as the Clinton Foundation, all to grift off the backs of people who are suffering. And this is exactly what the Sussex brand represents, is taking advantage and exploiting those vulnerable in order to gain something. And with this fund that has been set up, don't think that they did this out of the kindness of their hearts because they truly want equality and want to make an equal platform for people using technology. No. There is an incentive there for the prince and the dumb wife. I think more so for the dumb wife because there's a political element that she can grift off of. And I think this is what she's doing, just based off of why else would she be aligning herself with these people? And don't think for a second that South Park is really impacting her in a way that will make her stop being such a jerk to people. No, I think this is going to fuel her even more to get back at those that have criticized her. And I think that even though South Park is extremely successful at doing these types of episodes and not getting sued, Meghan is going to have her revenge without getting her hands dirty, as she always does. She did it with Samantha. She did it with Lady Susan Hussey. She did it with Jeremy Clarkson. And you really don't think that all those complaints that were filed were because there was a public outrage that was so outraged about this. No, this was a coordinated campaign. And I believe that Meghan is definitely connected to it. I'm going to point you over to a video if you haven't seen. Daily Empress found the connection that probably Meghan doesn't want you guys to know about. So if you have time, go check it out. I'll put the link of the video in the description below. But that's all I have for you today. I'll be back soon with more content, but until then, please be safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
It's a fraud.